Welcome to the PvP Show. It's a hobby podcast. It's a self-development podcast. He talks about reselling. He reviews movies and TV shows. It's a life podcast. Look, it's everything but the kitchen sink. Here's PvP.
What's up? It's me. It's PvP, Paul Perez, here on another Piz Kiz podcast of the PvP show. I said PvP show. And these are my biggest takeaways from Rachel Jonat's Do Less book on minimalism. I'm actually reading books now, something I hadn't done since high school. I heard Brian Tracy say in a YouTube video that reading is like exercising the brain. So that motivated me to begin reading more often, since I do like to do exercise. It's part of my daily routine. It's something I enjoy doing. But reading began last summer when I found Tony Robbins' Unlimited Power book while I was outsourcing for items to resell on eBay and Amazon. I think I found it at a Goodwill in Long Island City in Queens, New York. I was around when he had those 30-minute infomercials during the 90s, and those sold me hook, line, and sinker for sure. I purchased his Awaken the Giant Within book around that time, but I never finished it. I just would kind of pick it up, read it a little bit, and put it down. Now, fast forward to 2015, summer 2015, 1 year ago from this period of time. It took me about 6 months from when I started reading that book, the Unlimited Power book, to actually finish it. It took me a really long time. Even in previous Reseller Rising podcasts that you can find on YouTube, I have quoted parts of the book. And since then, though, I've been reading a lot more. I have actually read about 4 books now. These are small, slim books. These are not like big, thick books. But I'm so proud of myself that I've actually finished books, more than one in 1 year, which is mind-blowing, something I've never done in my 40 years of existence that I'm actually making happen now. And the book I'm currently reading right now is The Go-Giver. That's by Bob Berg and John David Mann, which I hope to do a podcast about in the future. But before I finish reading, the book that I was reading before I started reading The Go-Giver was Rachel Jonat's Do Less book. The whole title is Rachel Jonat's Do Less, A Minimalist Guide to a Simplified, Organized, Happy Life. And these were my biggest takeaways from the book. Here are the quotes from the book with page numbers. So if you have the book by you, or if you're intending on getting it, I put the page numbers of the places where I took quotes from the book. That these really raised my eyebrow. These really were inspirational to me, and also made me reflect on, gave me the biggest amount of reflection in terms of what's going on in my life. And let me get into it here. The first one, the truth is, having everything has never made anyone happy. That's on page 108. The next one, if you're not happy with your life before you spend a lot of money on your dream kitchen with the subway tiles and granite countertops, you probably won't be happy after. It sounds cliche, but spending money and buying things doesn't bring happiness. But having what you want, what you truly need for wellness, and the time and focus to do things that really matter to you, that is the recipe for a contented life. That's between pages 108 and 109. The next one here, remember what's free. Sometimes it's hard to see all the fun that can be had without spending a dime. As you scale back spending, make a list of the no-cost fun in your life. That's on page 128. The next one, how to be rich without a lot of money. A key tenet to minimalism is to maximize what you do have for the greatest effect. If you have your health, great friends, and burning creative aspirations, use the measure barometer of wealth instead of money. That's on page 130. And the final takeaway is it's so tempting to think more is better, when in fact more complicates your life. And that's on page 161. The last one was on page 130. I don't think I said that before. And, these were points that really made me reflect, that really tug on me. And I want to try to implement these right away in my life. For the most part, the book gives a lot of practical steps to living a minimalist life, like kind of cutting back on this and going more on that, and like real specific tips. The book overall, I very much enjoyed it. It got to me a little bogged down with the specific tips, but because I already have some idea of minimalism, but it gives very specific, particular steps to take to go ahead and just kind of reduce, like I said, or increase things in your life. But in the blog post, I've put links to some of the books that I've mentioned. I've put links to her blog, which is at theminimalistmom.com. And if you've read this book, or if you're intending to read this book, whether you hear this now or you hear this in the future, or you see this on YouTube, like, what are your biggest takeaways? What's some of the things that you are taking away from this book? I'd love to hear it. We could maybe have a back and forth. And once again, this is the PvP show, and I am out. I am Ghost. I am going to say bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. Your support is appreciated. Please remember to subscribe, rate, and review. Visit pvpfromnj.com for more. And remember, living is giving.